Alright guys, so today I'm going to take you along with me as I do my weekly quick clean, so stay tuned. Hey guys, my name is Nikki and I want to welcome you here to Carry Grace. Okay, so today I'm just taking you along with me as I do my weekly quick clean. Now, in last week's video, or maybe it was the video before, I think it was the video before, I talked about how I was probably not going to keep doing Flylady content until we got moved. I'm realizing now that I should have clarified and said that I'm not planning to do any Flylady zone cleaning content. When I opened up my planner this week to work on my weekly quick clean, I was opening the planner and just going to figure out which tasks I was going to do this particular day, and I realized that I still do most of my cleaning tasks in the same order that I learned from the Flylady. So you will notice in the beginning of this video, I started with mirrors. That is where I always started when I was doing my weekly home blessing. So some habits, they just really do stick with you. So I went through, I did mirrors, and then I came in my bathroom to do the mirror, and I realized that I had not actually wiped down my bathroom sink and swished the toilet yet. So I figured while I was in here, I would go ahead and do that. Now I didn't actually show you me doing the toilet this time. I really just didn't want to move the tripod, let's be real. And not everybody likes to see toilets all the time, so I just decided to skip it this time. So anyway, while I'm in here, I'm doing the mirror, and then I'm also going to give this just a good wipe down. Now, what I'm doing today in here is a little bit more than I would do just on a regular day. A lot of days, I just kind of wipe it with a rag. This particular day, though, I went ahead and just sprayed a little bit of cleaner in there, scrubbed it real quick, and then I went ahead and did some polish, some granite polish on my counters because they were just kind of looking a little bit dull, and I was already in here doing cleaning anyway, so it just made sense. I do also kind of want to mention that I'm not necessarily following the Flylady system per se right now. I'm also not necessarily following the Passionate Penny Pincher cleaning system that is laid out in the planner. We are in a season of transition. I think I've talked about that before. You guys know we're going to be moving soon, and we just have a lot going on. And so what I'm really doing is just trying to focus on doing what feels like it needs to be done. I'm trying to do the cleaning that matters and then leave all the deep cleaning for when it's time to move, because I'm going to have to do a big deep clean when we move anyway and everything gets moved out. So just the day-to-day and week-to-week, like I said, I'm just kind of doing what feels like it needs to be done. Now, this isn't probably the best approach for all of the time, but it's the season that I'm in right now, and I'm learning to just give myself grace. I'm learning to kind of go with the flow, and it is a little bit hard for me because I like my little checklist. I like checking all the little things off on the right days, but it's working for now, and that's okay. Sometimes you really just have to embrace the season that you are in. Speaking of checklist, if you are using the Passionate Penny Pincher planner, do not feel like you have to do everything on the day that it says to do it. Do it on whatever day works for you and just kind of check it off as you go. All right, so we are moving on. We are in my bedroom, and I did not finish all of my laundry yesterday. You can see I got it washed and dried, but I did not finish getting everything folded and put away. So that is what I'm going to tackle right now. I've just found that when I let laundry pile up, when I let it go, it just makes everything feel completely off. So that is why I'm going to go ahead and just tackle this and get it done. This is the biggest, nicest closet I have ever had, and when we move, I'm going to miss it very, very, very much. So there's that. Because we have had much smaller closets in previous homes, I have never been one to have like a lot of clothes, a lot of shoes, a lot of bags, things like that. But I have definitely kind of let the reins go since we have lived here. I have accumulated a lot more. And it was just because I finally, for the first time, had a lot of room to store it properly. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out when we get moved. How much am I really going to have to declutter? It's going to be interesting. I was already in here, so it made sense to go ahead and tidy up a little bit. Went ahead and folded that sweater up, put my shoes up. I don't really know why I always leave my shoes on the floor, but it's a bad habit that I just seem to do. So just got to take those couple extra minutes and put things away. My laundry is now put away. My son brought me a large iced coffee, so I took a little break, and then it was time to get back to cleaning. Now I am moving on to dusting. And today as I'm cleaning, I'm really just focusing on our master bedroom, bathroom, and then the main living areas of our house. My kids are teenagers. I've talked about this before. Sometimes I do give their room like a good deep clean, things like that, but for the most part they do a pretty good job keeping their room and also their bathroom nice and clean. So it was nice when I was able to turn that over to them. Now I do want to let you guys know that I am not doing all of this kind of just all at once. My kids are home, and so even though I'm cleaning and filming, I am still taking breaks to do mom things. I had to pause the video at one point to search for a book. I think we looked for a book for about an hour. I called the library, like the whole thing, and we never found the book. There was another break I had to take, to do something else that my kids needed me to do. So I don't want you to see my videos and think, wow, it must be so nice. She has all these huge chunks of time to get all this stuff done. No. Most of the time, I film in little chunks at a time because that is how I actually clean. I look for those little 15-minute windows to get something done, and then when you guys see it in a video, I just kind of put it all together. So please don't think that I'm any different than you. Some days, even when I block out large chunks of time thinking I'm going to get a lot done, it just doesn't happen, and that's okay. That's what we do as moms. Today for dusting, I am just using an e-cloth dusting rag, and I did spray it with a little bit of Indust simply because it has been a while since I have done some dusting. I think I mentioned that I had been sick and we just had a lot going on, so I'm still kind of trying to catch up, and because things were super dusty, I decided to go that route, and it worked really well for me today. Now, some of you that have been here for a while, you may remember that I used to be really, really bad at keeping up with our home, keeping up with our laundry, just doing all of those things that a lot of women find really easy. It was never easy for me. It was something that I had to really work at. That is why I started the Flylady system and started using the Passionate Penny Pincher Planner and all of those things. And I finally feel like I have made a real turn and that things are finally starting to feel really, really easy. I feel like I'm not necessarily having to look at lists as much, and I feel like I'm also kind of getting in a good groove for what just really works for me, what really works for our house. Now, of course, it's all about to get turned upside down because we're going to move, and I guess that's just how things go, but I'm a lot more confident now in myself, and it's a good place to be. And I feel like practicing routines over and over and over and just really continuing to do them, even when I didn't want to do them, even when I felt like I was failing at them, changing things up when I felt I needed to change things up, and just continuing to make progress. I feel like it's finally starting to feel like a lot of progress. And so I just wanted to share that with you. If you are struggling in cleaning your home, keeping up with your home, keep working on those routines. You will get to where you don't have to look at the list anymore. You'll get to where it's like, oh, today's Tuesday, I need to XYZ, and you just kind of do it. So keep working on those routines. You will eventually get to where it's easy and it's just something that you do automatically. All right, so dusting is done, and now I'm going to move on to one of my actual morning routine items that I have not done yet, and that is to straighten up our living room. You guys, this couch, there's pillows, there's blankets everywhere, and it just looks super messy. But it's not really. Like, it's really just, blankets and pillows. I did notice there's a napkin down on the floor that I'm going to have to pick up. So I'm going to dust this stuff, but one of the best things you can do for yourself every day is to straighten up your living room. Straighten up the couch, straighten up the pillows, the blankets. Now, if you have young kids at home, I know that they are going to throw those things all around the room. They're going to throw them in the floor. They're going to use them for forts. They're going to do all of those different things. And that's okay. I still like to do this at least once a day because it just feels better. For just a few minutes, my living room is going to look like it is nice and put together. And mine is actually going to stay like this till we sit down for the evening, which is nice because, like I said, my kids are older, but my kids haven't always been older. There were days that, this floor, well, not this floor, but the floor where we lived was covered in Legos or covered in stuffed animals or whatever. Embrace the season that you are in, but it is okay to take a couple minutes once a day. Figure out if you want to do it in the evening or if you want to do it in the morning, and just give your couch a good straighten. It really does completely change the way the room looks and feels. So now that my living room feels clean, even though all I really did was straighten it back up, I want to show you my kitchen counter. Right here, you're going to see I have a pile of books and pens and just stuff. That's stuff that I am still using. My son's still doing school, but you can see that the rest of my kitchen is cleaned up. My house isn't always completely put together all the time. A lot of times the counter is full of stuff. Sometimes I'm really good and get things put away each night, but there are days where I definitely just pick up that pile, I move it to the buffet, and then I bring it back out the next morning because I know I'm going to be doing the same things. Just want to remind you guys to live in your home. Don't feel like it has to look like a magazine. Don't feel like it has to look any certain way. Just use your house in a way that is best for your home. I just want to remind you guys that my house isn't always completely put together. We're a real family that does real things in our house, and it's not always perfect. All right, so now the next thing I need to do is I need to work on my floors. And the way I tackle floors each week is I kind of just work in sections. I tend to vacuum a section and then mop it. Then I pick up my stuff, I go to the next section, and I vacuum and I mop it. So as you can see, this is just my weekly quick clean. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time saying weekly, but for my weekly quick clean, the things that I like to try my best to get to each week are to clean mirrors, to do a quick dust. Sometimes that's just a Swiffer. That's okay. I'm usually just dusting off surfaces. I like to vacuum, and I like to mop. Now, in today's video, I threw in a few of my daily tasks because I hadn't done them yet, and while I was there, it just made sense to do them. I also try to make sure that I'm continuing to stay on top of laundry. If you don't have a laundry routine, I highly recommend figuring out a way to make sure that you have a laundry routine that works. You saw earlier in this video that I did not finish my laundry yesterday. So that's why today it was a priority. It would have been really easy for me to just let that stuff sit in the chair, but I knew that it really wasn't going to take that long, and then it would just be done. Right here though, I want to pause. I want you guys to see that I am mopping the wall under this counter, and that is because sometimes my kids will put their feet up there or whatever, and it will have little black marks. And if you can just mop it with your mop, a lot of times that will completely clean it. It does the trick for us. So if that's not something you've ever done before, definitely try that trick. So again, here I am just going to keep going through the house. I'm going to keep vacuuming and keep mopping until we get finished. So for those of you that are still here on the video, I want to say thank you so much. It helps my channel so much when you watch the entire video, and I just want you to know that I really, really appreciate it. So in the comments, I would love to know something from you. I would love to know how you found my channel and how long you have been watching my channel. I've kind of been on YouTube for a long time, and I've kind of had an influx of growth here recently, and so I would love to know how you found me. Also, if you have any video requests, I would love to hear them. I have been working on a list of content that I plan to get to at some point this year, so if you've got some requests, drop them in the comments. Okay, so while I was in here vacuuming, I found like 3 or 4 toenails. Somebody in my house has picked their toenails off and left them on the floor. Y'all, that is so gross. So, I don't really know why I'm telling you other than to just tell you that, yeah, I found some toenails and I thought it was disgusting. So I am vacuuming this rug very, very well. I am going like one direction and then going another direction because it made me just feel like it was super disgusting. So now you know. So close to having the floors done. So all I have to do is finish vacuuming in here, and then you guys are going to get to see how much crud was in my vacuum, how dirty the mop water was. How many of you find that very satisfying? I'm always excited to empty my vacuum cleaner because I'm like, yes, I just got all of this out of my carpet or off the floor. And I'm always super excited to see how gross the floors are. Not how gross. Sometimes I prefer when they're not that gross because then I feel like, hey, I'm doing a really good job and my floors aren't that bad. But yeah, so it's something that I find very satisfying. So let me know, do you like seeing how much dirt you were able to get off of your floors? I want to thank all of you for watching today's video. I hope it gave you some motivation to get up and get some cleaning done. Even if you only have 15 minutes, do one thing. Set your timer for 15 minutes, get that thing done, check it off, and then the next time you've got a few minutes, move on to the next thing. Don't feel like you have to do everything at once. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you're new to my channel and not already subscribed, please consider subscribing down below, and I will see you guys very soon.